Okay, let's move on to my next patient. According to the requisition, his name is Luis Alberto Hernandez. He is 47 years old. His birthday is 1975. He lives in Los Angeles, and the date of the order is pretty recent. It's this month of this year. So by looking at the order, I see that we have a doctor's name here. He is medical doctor Martin Roberts, family medicine. His address is in Los Angeles, California, the same location as my patient. He lives in Los Angeles too. We have diagnosis here: MRI of the right ankle without contrast. That will help me to see that I have to prepare a chimney coil for that. Also, ankle tells me that it is very useful to Dorflex the foot and pack it with a cushion as much as possible. So it's just like on the back of my head. I already see it by the order. He had the blunt trauma to the ankle. We have a signature of the doctor, so everything is great. All the information is in place. Let's proceed to the patient. So it's time for me to set up the zone 4, the scanning room for Mr. Hernandez. For that, I do the universal stuff we do for everybody after every patient. I disinfect all the high traffic, high touched areas by patient, by me, doorknobs. I disinfect the table. I loaded it before that. I wiped the coil, the chimney coil, plugged it in. I also prepare the squeeze ball and air plugs for the next patient. Linens are changed, the pillowcase as well, as usual. Then I check everything else is done. That's it. I leave the room, scan room, and lock the door behind me. As a rule, we always have to keep scan room zone 4 under lock and key at any time. But before I went into the zone 4, I demetallized myself. I made sure that none of the loose metal items or electronic items are in my pockets on my body. I don't wear jewelry, so I don't have to worry about that. But I would make sure my cell phone is out of my pockets. My watch is also out. My wallet with the credit cards that the stripes of the credit cards, magnetic cards can be damaged. Not damaged, they'll be destroyed. My keys are out also, not acceptable in the scan room. My badge with metallic clip is also out. So I've taped myself all over. All my pockets are empty. Nothing is dangerous. So I went into the zone room 4 and I did the stuff I already described to you. It's time for me to get my patient. So I go into zone 2, which is reception area in our facility, and I call out loud the last name of the patient, Mr. Hernandez. Then Mr. Hernandez approaches me. I'll take him to the more private part of the reception area where we can talk more freely. I also noticed that Mr. Hernandez in a wheelchair, accompanied by some other guy. So okay then, the way I would proceed with that, I will ask Mr. Hernandez, what is your full name? He states that his name is Luis Alberto Hernandez. Also, I asked him about his date of birth. He states that he was born in April 5th of 1975, which matches my records. So here I used the two identification items. It is his full name and date of birth. And also I made sure that we are in the private area where I asked him those personal questions. I mentioned that I greeted Mr. Hernandez. That's how I start using our common protocol that is abbreviated as AIDET. Acknowledgement, introduction, explanation, duration, and thank you. So acknowledgement happened, then I called Mr. Hernandez by his last name and said something like, "Hello, how you doing?" Then I introduced myself. The way I introduce myself, it would be that my name is Yelena and I'm the intern in this department. I will be helping you with your scan today. So this is my introduction. So also at this point, I will mention the duration of the scan. And the reason for that, to do it at this particular time, is that it is very important, first of all, to make sure that patient know how long the scan will be, how long he will be busy. So if all of a sudden he decides to that he doesn't have so much time for the scan, we have to reschedule. And the second reason for that is that it is the right time to kind of use the restroom for him if he has to before scan, or else even in the middle of the scan he would have to go to the restroom. I would have to, of course, stop scanning procedure, let him go, and then start all over again, and my images are gonna be off, all that stuff. So we don't want that to happen, prevent it. So that's why I mentioned the duration of the scan at this point.